So we'll get started this morning. You guys all know that I love AI. I love getting in the AI game and playing with AI and doing everything. But it's just a reminder, I see too many agents right now that just plug in something to ChatGPT and say, hey, I just got this. Can you verify that it's true? Or can you write me a clause to go around this or whatever? And they just believe whatever comes out. Right. And they think that AI has all the answers and is going to give you the truth every single time. So I just want to give you a little hint of how awesome AI is.
Wash my car, and the car wash is 100 meters away. Should I walk or drive?
Honestly, 100 meters is barely. It'll take just a minute or two. Once you've got heavy gear or there's something unusual going on, walking is probably the simplest and most pleasant choice. Plus, you'll save a little gas and get a tiny bit of fresh air.
All right, so you think I should walk to the car wash instead of driving my car there?
It's a short jaunt and it'll probably be less hassle than starting the car just for that.
All right, so how do I wash my car if I walked there?
You'll just bring what you need, maybe a small bag with your payment method, and the car wash will have everything else. Once you get there, they'll handle the washing while you wait. You'll walk back with a sparkling car and maybe a little extra pep in your step.
So my question is, how will the car get washed if the car is still at my house?
I see what you mean now. If the car stays at home, it's not getting any cleaner, right? So yes, to actually wash it, you'll need to bring the car along. In that case, driving those 100 meters makes perfect sense.
Wow.
So guys, this is reality, right? There are many things where ChatGPT or any AI solution at this point doesn't have the answers. In fact, lots of times it will hallucinate, it will make up an answer just to make sure that you feel good about it, right? So make sure that you're verifying, especially when we're talking contracts, rules, deadlines, all those kind of things. Make sure you're actually verifying that what you're getting out of AI is accurate and something that you can count on. If you want to verify and you don't know, call me. I'll be your ChatGPT. Okay, I'm happy to do that for you. All right, let's talk about needs, wants, listings, buyers, anything that you guys have coming up. It's your time, so let me know and I'll give you the fake mic that doesn't work in here but works for everybody online.
Jeff, it's Phyllis Ann. I have a listing coming up in West Bountiful, 1,860 square feet, Rambler, no basement, corner lot, fully fenced backyard, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, recently repainted and brand new carpet, probably listing at $575 to start.
Awesome. Thanks, Phyllis Ann. Anyone else? Gary?
I have two listings.
You have to say who you are.
Oh, sorry. This is Gary Haynes. I have two listings right now. I have a condo in Murray. That's about $295, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. The problem with that one is it's not rented. You can't rent it.
You're not supposed to point out the problem.
Yeah.
How awesome
that's anyway. That's all the questions I've had on it so far have been that, but it's been remodeled. It's beautiful. Right in the heart of Murray. I have another home listed in Lehigh that split level, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, also newly remodeled with a lot of great new features on a corner lot right across the street from a park. It's listed at $540 right now. Then I have two other listings coming up. One in a gated community in Draper that will get listed this next week. It's a beautiful home, just under 4,000 square feet. It's a twin home, quiet community up on the bench up there, so it overlooks the whole valley. It's really beautiful, and we just redid all the floors and the painting. Everything looks really nice. And then another one in Lehigh, very similar to the other one, so right around $525.
You got all the listings, Gary. I love it. Yep.
What are you starting on that?
Sorry, what?
The one in Murray?
Starting price?
What's the starting price?
$295.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a son who is probably soon.
Yeah. I think there's 3 for sale in that complex. They're all right around that 280, 290 mark. And this one this one's been upgraded a little better, but they're all right up the same. Yeah, please.
So you're still not supposed to sell other listings. Just clarifying your role here. All right, anybody else, buyer, seller needs, listing?
Hey Jeff, it's Phyllis Ann. I also have a condominium coming up, hopefully the second week of March in Santaquin. It's in the Centennial Park subdivision. It's a bottom level condo. It's 3 bedroom, 2 bath. He's done some really nice little upgrades to it. He's a cabinet builder, so he's done some really nice things inside. And probably there's another one on the third floor that's listed for 275. So we're going to be in that price point.
Okay, awesome, thanks.
I have a family
Who are
meeting. Oh, I'm Kathy. I'm Kathy Nelson. I have a family moving in from Idaho that I have connected with, so that's awesome. And they're looking for a traditional home, 3 bedrooms, 3 to 5 bedrooms, like 3 car garage, 2 car garage, something like that. Like just basic, nice home that's not basically new built and cheap, but one that's been, well built and loved. So anywhere from Provo to Santaquin. So, well, the funny thing was, is he told me 500,000 is what we're hoping for. And I'm like, well, let's think 750. So, they are going to see one with me on Saturday for about 750. So,
So between 5 and 7
yeah.
in Utah County, 3 to 5 bedrooms, 2 to 3 garages. That's like every house in.
Good one that we're going to go see, but no.
Just making sure.
This is Wade Griffiths. What's too early to start mentioning listings?
You can mention whatever you want in this setting.
All right. I have a seller and a buyer. She's put a new construction home under contract, so we don't want to quite get started on the listing of her home quite yet because we feel it'll sell really quickly, and then she'll be in a two-move situation, which she doesn't want to do. So this is a couple of months out, but right here in Orem, close to University Mall, a multi-level home, good size 2-car garage, but the real prize on this one is it does have a big detached garage, great for additional parking for, it also has RV parking, but it does have great space for any toys, but also workshop, that kind of thing. So it'll be listed around 600.
When-ish?
Probably in the next month and a half.
And what's the address so I can go get the listing before you do?
Be a good one.
Anyone else? Going once? Bill, did you have something? No? Once? Twice? Okay. Failed to recognize, and I should recognize, Bill's with us today, our principal broker, so make sure you stop back and say hi.
Howdy.
When you grab your French toast, say hi to Bill. All right. I don't usually do this, but because it's kind of a special opportunity, Marie Buno is going to have 2 houses, one in North Ogden and this one in Lehigh, that are going to be on Parade of Homes. And she needs help sitting those for the next couple of months on Saturdays. So if you want or desire to go do that, reach out to Marie. She would love to have any help that she can get to sit those, and that's a great opportunity to meet a whole bunch of people who don't have realtors, guarantee you. So
Jeff, do you know who the builder is?
I do not. It's on the MLS though, so if you look at that address, or if you text me, I'll text it to you. You can look it up. I would guess it says who the builder is. I just wasn't smart enough to look. All right, January top producers. These are the people moving and shaking already in the year. And so January's top producers, Todd Telford took top for both transactions and volumes. For volume being number of houses sold. So Bessie Nielsen was second, Pam Ogden, Ellen Holdaway, and Lisa Flutie in fifth. And then for transactions, sorry, those are reversed. Volume is dollar amount that they sold. Transactions is number of houses. So Todd, Ellen, Lisa, Pam, and Aram Ledesma. So these guys are fantastic. Every one of them, great agent. If you need to know what you should be doing to close more, go to lunch with these guys. They'd love to tell you. All right, let's talk some stats since we're on numbers. And I'm going to get these out of the way first for you. I don't know why your guys' slide isn't first. I'm going to skip all the way through this because that should be where we're at.
Yeah, just made the meeting shorter. Did you see that?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so in-house partners, Verus Title and Encompass Lending. We actually have Jason going first since he came in late. We'll let him go first.
I beat him. He walked in, he was
Yeah.
on the elevator and I
I was
just
answering
stared.
emails and it'd be
I love it.
walking up the stairs and stuff.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Rates are coming down. Every time you see the billboard, add a quarter to 3/8 to that, because that's with you paying, sometimes up to 2%.
Which is misleading.
It is, I agree, but rumor is that he pays his monthly fine because he makes more money than the fine. That's what I've.
That's a rumor only, to be
It
really
is a
clear.
rumor. That's the rumor that I've heard from someone that has access to that, but apparently, so it still is a rumor because I'm not official,
There you go.
but it is a good indicator. So when you see Mr. Billboard, Mortgage Mike or whatever, just add a quarter to 3/8, and that's what your clients would get without having to pay anything out of their pocket. So it's a good indicator, but it is coming down. I mean, it's the first time in probably 4 years that the 30-year national average has finally hit 6, which means we're at 5.9 and 5.8. So it's moving. I'm starting to see applications pick up for pre-approvals. So hopefully the market's going to start picking up for you guys. But I'm here for you if you need me, if you have an open house. I don't necessarily have the time to do that, but if you guys have a local one, let me know. I can present some co-branded flyers and sit if I'm available. If I'm not available, unfortunately, I'll get you the flyers. And then if you have any of your clients that your leads or anything like that says, oh, I'd love to, but my credit sucks, get them to me, because I've got 6 or 7 people in the program right now and they're working it. And, I had one that got their score to where they were approved in 30 days and one that's going to take about 6-7 months. But they're working it and we can get them where they're approved and back to you to go find a house. So just reach out to me. I'm available for you guys.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, Verus. How many people want to take Mike?
All right, I'll start.
You want them all?
I'm gonna give it across.
Okay,
I'm gonna bring like a gold one. That'd be so cool.
that would be
Gold
super
Mike.
cool.
Come up here, like, be
Now-
awesome.
Now you've challenged.
Yes.
Now you've challenged me.
Yes, so Jessica Jensen with Verus Title. First of all, thanks you guys. I see a lot of familiar faces that we've done a lot of business with, so we appreciate you guys. But we kind of have, I think he's got a lot of things he's kind of coming up on the screen that you guys can see. The Ron Notary, we do quite a lot of things. I will, pick up earnest money. I picked up one just now and deposited it, and the earnest money receipt is out. So super fast, we can do that as well. But yeah, reach out if you guys can. I'm going to bring in, so we have Beth Jarrett today. She's another escrow officer that we use. And then Vicky. So I don't know if you guys have met Vicky yet, but I'm going to let you I'll have them say something about themselves real quick. And then you can, so at least you know, Vicky, you can just say something about yourself and what.
Good morning, Vicki Robbins. I've only been with Verus for about a year, but I have 40+ experience years in this industry. So been around a long time.
Perfect. Then Beth, I'll let you just say something.
I'll say something quick. Hi, my name is Beth. I'm getting over a cold, so that's kind of why I didn't want to talk. So, but anyway, been in the business 31 years as of last month, and I'm in the South Jordan office. Just like the rest of us, travel wherever you guys need us to go. Send us your deals. We're happy to help you guys. If you have any buyers, sellers at home, don't want to leave, they're working, we're here for you. Let us know. Any of us will be glad to help you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks, gals. These gals are amazing. Really love working with Verus. They do a great job. They're super fast, and not just depositing earnest money, but you'll get your PRs back really quick. And they're always on top of it. If you need anything, anytime I have got any questions, I just call Jessica and immediately I've got answers.
Questions?
Amazing, huh? Yeah. So that's my secret, is that you guys call me with questions. I don't actually know any answers. I just know who to ask. So that's the key to the whole thing. Yeah, I know a guy. That's me. All right, let me go all the way back through all the stuff you guys don't want to know. And let's talk stats. All right, this is Utah County only, and so this comes from the MLS. Average active listings per day is up. So we're up 18% year over year in number of active listings on the MLS. I think that we'll probably beat again every month from last year. 2025 was up every month from 2024, and 2026, I'm sure, will be up again. So that's the trend that we're currently seeing, is a lot more active listings on the market. Homes under contract. January was actually a really good month for us. We were up 20% in Utah County, number of homes that were under contract compared to a year before. Yeah, it's a pretty big jump, almost 100 homes in a month. So that's really good. Single family homes sold was up 23%. So we see that continue over. Those aren't all backing out. They're actually following through and closing. And so that's a good jump for us. It's a good start to the year. If we can continue this trend, we should see pretty strong 2026. Average days on market held right at about 70 days on market on average. That's for Utah County. You'll see here in a minute that for the state as a whole, we're at about 80 is our average days on market. There are pockets that are much, much less than this, and depending on the price point, it can be quicker as well. But on average, we're looking at about 70 days. So you should plan when you're talking to your sellers, look, this is probably going to take about 2 months, right, for us to get under contract. So that's what you should be having those discussions with your sellers. Median sales price actually dropped just a titch in Utah County, dropping to 588, so 589. So what's that, about $10,000 that it dropped? So dropped just a little bit. That's the first drop I think we've seen since we year over year drop for quite a while. I think it's been over a year since we saw a year over year drop. But it's not really significant. That 2% or $10,000 isn't really a significant drop. All right, this is the entire state. So these are state numbers, and let me go through a few things that caught my eye here. Number one, pending sales for January for the entire state actually went down. So our under contracts went down 5%. If you remember, Utah County was up 20%, right? So what does that tell you? One of two things. One is the rest of the state was pretty slow, right? Two is stats can tell you really whatever you want them to tell you, right? So I can make the stats however I run them. They're going to be a little bit different. Median sales price. This is for the entire state again. We went from an average in 2025 of 497 up to 505. So an appreciation of 1.5%, more or less. And percent of original list price received, we're at 95% of list right now. This does not include seller concessions. So seller concessions are in almost every single deal I see come through the brokerage right now. $5,000 to $25,000 in concessions. And that is not taken into account in this. And so you're probably looking more around the range of 94, 93% is what we're getting as far as lists to what we actually sell for.
There's a question on that.
No. Go ahead, Kathy.
I've seen those ones out there that say, this is the price, $450, and we're offering 10,000 in concessions with a full price offer. My thoughts are it's better to not talk about concessions and keep your price there, and then know the concessions are coming. Like, what's better to do?
Who are you, a buyer or a seller?
Well, agent, I'm like, well, sweetheart, we're gonna be asking for concessions already. Like, like we're asking for concessions. So
yeah, as a listing agent, or sorry, as a buyer's agent, I really don't care what the MLS says, right? I don't care. Yeah, so it's not. When you're doing that as a listing agent and you're saying, hey, $10,000 with a full price offer, You're not talking to an agent, right? You're talking to the general public who's going, oh, awesome, I can get $10,000 if I make this awesome offer, right? And I do have clients that fall into that. And they say, hey, look, I just saw this house. It's amazing. We want to make a full price offer. We get this $10,000. I'm like, look, you can if you want, but the reality is in this market, you shouldn't ever be making a full price offer, right? That's just not the way this market works. So you're talking to two different people as far as how that marketing is actually perceived. Okay. Days on market I already talked about. So days on market year over year is up almost 16% from 69 last year up to 80 right now. And here's our median sales price. Again, this is the entire state, and this goes back to 2026, January 2026. So for the last 10 years, this is what our median sales price looks like in Utah. You can see the COVID bump. Here's our trend line before COVID. And here's our trend line after COVID. They kind of look a little bit similar. If I take, this is not super scientific, but if I take that same arrow and I put it up there, you can see, you know, they're fairly similar. But what really caught my eye is this. That gap is starting to narrow, right? And so in about 42 years, we'll catch up to where COVID should have taken us, right? No, but not quite that long. I would say if we continue on our current trajectory, you're probably 2 years for the COVID issues to really kind of iron out so that we can see affordability come back into where it should be. And that's as long as the rest of the marketplace, you know, jobs and those kind of things actually participate with us, cooperate with us. As long as we can keep up with wages and those kind of things, we'll see affordability get better. And that's if rates don't go down. I'm the only one hoping for that, right? So that we can somehow correct this back. Okay. All right. This is from Ninja Selling, and I hear this a ton. People walk into my office and they're like, look, what should I do? I'm having a slower year. I need to get more leads. How do I get more leads? What do I do? And I always say, how many phone conversations have you had? How many this week? How many today? How many in the last month have you actually had? And the answer is usually not very many. Right. So they're always like, I'm like, why won't you just call your people? Like, what's the hesitation there? What's the worry? Right. And so he's going to speak to that here a little bit.
Hello, ninjas. This is Peter Parnick with your weekly Ninja Action Tip. I was teaching an installation last week, and a person came up and was talking about how nervous she was in calling someone she knows that she hasn't talked to in about 6 or 7 months. And this was a person that she had sold a house to. Wasn't a stranger, wasn't a loose contact. And she admitted that she was afraid of being thought of as salesy, like, why are you even calling me? One of those things. We started talking, and all of a sudden I could see she had this aha, a breakthrough. And this was a big one. She said, wait a minute, is this what you're talking about when we put the slide up that says, if you are afraid, you're thinking about yourself? I said, yeah. She went on and she said, so if my intention in calling this person is truly to find out about their family, their job, what they've been doing for fun lately, maybe what plans they've made for 2026, in other words, forward, then how they react is up to them. Well, I was like, yes, exactly. And then she said it out loud. This was huge. If I can't control how they react, then why should I worry about it? I was thrilled. I said, right, why would you? And she said, I should just let that go. I was about doing handsprings of joy. I was like, holy moly, this is big. So your weekly action tip is to learn from her aha. You can only control your own intentions. If your intentions are pure, truly, then how the person you call reacts is none of your concern. If they're suspicious, let them detach from their judgment or response. They probably live in a space of suspicion and doubt all the time, and you just got to experience their worldview in that phone call. Detach and feel content that you made the effort with pure intention. The huge learning piece here is that other people's opinions of you don't get to define who we are. Keep your intentions pure and go ahead and let's love on our people. This week, See if there are one or two people that you're nervous about calling and forward it. If it goes great, great. If you don't really have a great conversation, let them and move on. It's not about you. And this led me to another sentence derived from Ford. I was thinking about it. Finally orchestrate your reality daily. You get to choose. How about that for a new Ford? Also, by the way, next week I will be leading the Ninja monthly sales meeting. Come join me. And in the meantime,
All right. So the key to this is, why do we avoid these conversations? Why is it that we're not calling and talking to the people that we're either friends with, we're family with, we've closed deals with? Why don't we ever call them? Why do I just send them a text that says, hope you're doing great, and hope they don't respond? It's a real question. It's a discussion. Why is it? What is the worry behind this?
I think sometimes we may have people like this in our lives. Maybe we only make contact with them or have contact with them when they want something. And so we don't want to be perceived as, I'm only contacting you because I'm needing a referral or I'm needing, business. And so I think part of the remedy for that is that we're just more consistent in our contact with them. Because then it becomes, oh, this is just what Wade does. He's not necessarily reaching out for business. He's really genuinely, hey, following up with my conversation about our son who's graduating, or the vacation we took, or something like that. So I think consistent contact is the key to have that go away. So I think we hesitate to do that because we think that they're gonna look poorly upon us.
Yeah, it speaks exactly to what he was talking about, right? Kathy?
So that you call people when you need things. And I make a joke about it. I'm like, look, I'm calling you because I need a plumber or something. But at least I call. You never call me. I'm like, at least I call. Or my dad, I'll be like, hey, I'm calling because I need help with this. But hey, at least I'm calling.
Yeah.
You never call me. So
It's a good point.
yeah.
So I think the real key to this, and the thing that I talk to agents about when they come and talk to me, is flipping the script in your mind, right? What is your intent? Why are you actually calling these people? Is it because you care about them and want to help them and be their advisor and hope that their life is going great and hope they have a great 2026 and hope that their kid's soccer game went well and all the things that you want to talk about? Or is it you're truly just calling to be, hey, you got anybody who's ready to buy or sell? Because I'm desperate as heck. I need a deal right now, right? Those two are very different and they're perceived extremely differently, right? And the only thing we control is our intent. If we're calling and saying, hey, I just want to check on you, hope your home's doing well, right? That's a much different conversation and goes much better than if we're going for a sale. So flip your intent, be an advisor for them, be someone, a professional that they can reach out to, and whenever they do need help, that they feel comfortable calling you. And it's going to make a world of difference in the number of conversations you have. Shay?
She was saying that, and I haven't really used this in business much, but I have fears of calling people, even just family and stuff, like don't want to interrupt them or whatever. But if you called someone in a business aspect to let them know that, I'm trying to get my words all right, but that you're reaching out to them to make sure they know that you're comfortable if they call you whenever, to make sure, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm putting in this effort so that you know that if you ever have a silly question, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Another way to look at it.
Fantastic. Thanks, Shay. Anyone else? Any comments? Okay, we'll move on. We already did this, so you don't have to hear from Jason again. I know, terrible, huh? All right, it is not Sam, but it is
You want me to come on?
Yeah, if you want to come on up. Todd Lee Masters here. He's from Make It Market Ready. He's the one that brought you all the great food in the back. So make sure and participate with
Sorry
that.
for anybody on the computer listening to that, but come next time and you can get food.
Yeah,
It'll be great.
that's what they get for not coming. It's
That's
fine with
for
me.
living too far away. I'm Todd Lee Master. So this is a weird one for me. This is my first time here with this brokerage as a new agent. I signed on with Fathom Realty 2 weeks ago, Jeff, something like that.
Yeah.
So really, really happy to be here. I will be a working agent as well. But the main point of what I want to talk to you about today is Make It Market Ready. Anybody heard of Make It Market Ready before? Perfect. Okay, awesome. Wow, that's actually pretty good numbers. Fantastic. Okay, were you with Lori then yesterday, or was it a different tour? Okay, all right. Well, maybe I'll connect with you afterward and see what I can do to help you. Make It Market Ready, to give you the short version, is a targeted strategic home renovations company. We're a licensed and insured general contractor here in the state of Utah. And what we're trying to do is help you guys sell your listings for more money and faster. So Jeff did all of the great lead in was all of the statistics that he showed, showing that homes are sitting on the market for 70, 71 days, something like that. The numbers that I had from last year that is a direct comparable for our projects versus the regular market was that homes were sitting on the market between 52 and 58 days last summer into the fall-ish. And at that same time period, Make It Market Ready projects were going under contract in around 25 days, 24, 25 days. So literally half the time. The basic idea here is we go through the homes in consultation with you as the agents. We're not looking to be the listing agents. We want you to list your homes and work with us, figure out what renovations will help the house sell the best, the fastest, not cheap cutting corner flipper style stuff, right? Where we just paint over the outlet and the switches that look old. We actually replace those or whatever, and actually provide real value for your clients. Let me give you, I have to pull this one up because it's brand new. And so I don't have the numbers in my head yet. So this one is a property in Cedar Hills that we just did in January. So this is as real and as close to real time as it gets, right? So this home was listed in, let's see, December for basically $1,999,900, right? They had 2 price drops. They dropped all the way down to $925. Then they got under contract for a week. Then they fell out of contract. And it was actually because of items with the house that an inspection report found. And so the buyers, instead of working with the sellers, the buyers said, no, thanks, we're going to move on. So then they contacted Make It Market Ready after the fact. Make It Market Ready put in roughly $30,000 into renovations for the property, new flooring, new lighting, new paint, lots and lots of handyman repairs, as well as some other like bigger ticket items, right? Again, roughly $30,000. They've relisted it back at the $975 price. So they actually increased the price from where they were, and they're under contract again. They've been under contract for 5 days. They're not going to fall out of contract now because of an inspection problem, because we took care of all of those things. It's going to be a smoother transaction for the listing agent, obviously. The sellers are going to get more money, right? They invested roughly $30,000 and they're up greater than $50,000 in list price from where they were when they got it under contract originally and fell out. That's the kind of value that Make It Market Ready is going to provide. Now, no one has raised their hand yet, so I have to tell you the real hook, because oftentimes people have this question in their mind: who pays and at what time? Please tell me.
You guys put it in so that $30,000 actually is just a contract between you and the seller, that then at the end of close, then it comes out.
Yes, it is a pay at close. Now, that works for any home that we have good numbers on. So they have to have equity in the property, and the renovations have to not exceed that equity. Obviously, we do put a notice of interest on title, but we don't put a construction lien on it to muddy title up. And so if there ever was a problem, we could handle it that way. And we've never had that problem so far. To give you an idea on scale, I just did a preliminary estimate last week on a home in Woodland Hills where we're coming back at 125 to 150,000 in renovations. We are literally going to touch every single surface and appliance in that house, and it's going to sell for $390,000 $150,000 more than what they could get right now, right? And so we really are the full one-stop shop. I'm so excited to be working with Make It Market Ready. Any questions really fast? Yes.
Some bit of an average on, the price for renovations. I mean,
Yeah, so most of our
generally spending.
we did just over 40 projects last year, and the average on those was around 50,000, like 48 to 52,000 sticks in my head there. We do have a $20,000 job minimum, just because we like to keep our subs busy with work that actually gets them paid, right? We're truly trying to make it a win-win-win-win-win-win-win all the way around for everybody. We got to make our subs happy, the sellers happy, you as the listing agents happy. And so, yeah, we look at homes that are, around a $50,000 average, and that seems to be the sweet spot for us. But we will go higher than that. Anything else? Again, yes.
Just like, you charge for that? Come on.
Great question. That's a fantastic question. So we do the estimates in 2 stages, so as to not waste anybody's time, including our own. When you have a subject property that you want us to take a look at, you call me, and I'm the guy who actually comes out and gives you, we call it a preliminary estimate. It's our initial bid, and it's not a down to the dollar line item kind of bid. It's a rough estimate. Hey, we think it's going to be between $38,000 and $52,000 for everything that you want on this list. Do you like our scope? Do you like that price range? Seller says yes. Then it's a $250, we call it a deposit, to actually get the superintendent out from our company. He does the actual, really down to the nitty-gritty detail line item bid, gets you a finalized price, and if you accept that, the $250 just gets rolled into the price of the renovations. We do that so that we weed out the people who are maybe just looky-looing around and not sure what they're doing, and to help make sure that our superintendent's time isn't wasted, because he does a lot of these bids all the time, as you can imagine. 40 projects last year. He was running all over the state, basically. Yes.
Would it be better for a seller to have a home inspection prior to having you come out, so that you're able to then remedy all that kind of stuff?
That is a great question. I'm happy to have you do that, and do a pre-listing inspection before we even come out. We also offer that, and we can get you some discounts on that. We partner with a couple of different home inspectors, and we've got it. If we do the pre-listing inspection, then do the renovations, then we also have a couple of home warranty companies who are willing to offer a home warranty on the listing for the life of the listing, if that makes sense. So as long as it is listed, they'll warranty any items. So if you have a flood randomly as you're living in there while you're still trying to sell it, home warranty company will come in and fix that for you. So we have both of those options available. You just have to come and talk to me. But yes, you're happy to have you do a pre-listing inspection as well. So thank you guys so much. I won't take up any more of your time, but I'll be around, and I'll pass some pamphlets out and my business card and all that jazz. Thank you.
I'll make sure and update this so Todd's information is in the slides when we send it. No, I know, Sam. You're way better than Sam. All right, guys, get out your notebooks, your phones, whatever. Put these dates in your calendars. March 4th is our normal tech class. So that's Wednesday at 11 o'clock. I'm going to be talking about ranking in AI. That's on Zoom only, so don't come here. We have lots of people who show up for Zoom only classes here in the office, and you can come sit in my office and watch me do it, but that's about it. March 6th, we're going to have a social media for realtors 2-hour class. So if you want to know more about Instagram, Facebook, social media, and TikTok, whatever, this is a fantastic CE class. It's 2 hours of core on top of that. So really good class to attend. That is this coming Friday, so a week from today at 11 a.m. I'm going to have 4,000 people ask me, hey, I can't come. Is it being recorded? It is not being recorded. It's live only. You have to come. Okay, all these CE classes are that way now. Well, not all of them, but most of them are. Then March 11th, we're going to talk about selling and transferring water, which is a major, major thing coming up in Utah. Like, if you're not aware of the water issues here and what water is going to be worth and all the issues around water, you need to be in this class because it's going to be huge. And then unfair inducements. So that's a great one as well. So that's 2 weeks on March 11th on a Wednesday at 11 a.m. March 18th is our Forms Plus class, third week. We always have Forms Plus. That one's Zoom only. March 25th will be our next team meeting here in the office, and I Zoom and record those. And then put on your calendars for our agent celebration, our annual agent celebration breakfast. That'll be at the Gail Miller Conference Center, the one that's right across from the Salt Lake Board of Realtors on the other side of the freeway. The same place we had it last year. It will be fantastic. So make sure you put that on your calendars. Be there at 9:30 so you can enter the drawings and win cool prizes. We want everybody to come. I don't care if you're a brand new agent or you've been here forever, if you're getting an award or not. This is an agent celebration. So we want everybody there. We'll have great breakfast for you. And I'm sure Don will have the best song that he's ever had for you guys to listen to. He's actually, he's got someone else singing with him. And so it's going to be an amazing time. Trust me. But anyhow, be there about 9:30. We will have a great keynote speaker and a fantastic special guest we're told is going to be there. So I'm not going to announce who that is yet because we don't have 100% confirmation, but really want you to be there. RSVP. So if you haven't done it by email and you're planning on going, just tell Maya on the way out that you're going to come. We need to know so that we can get the right amount of food. Last year we had like, I can't even tell you how many extra biscuits from Biscuits and Gravy. I think we had like 7 tins of them or something. It was crazy.
Monday.
That is a Monday. Yep, Monday.
Because Monday, April 14th. You know.
It's not even April 14th. You already forgot. Because now you looked at your calendar and you can type it in. And so I forced you to actually look it up. All right. If you didn't see, Samantha Giugio stepped down and was replaced by Lori Mueller as the president. And so we look for some good changes coming from that. Excited to see what Lori will bring to us. And about 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we had a class here on the new lead program that Fathom's rolling out called Fathom Start. And so that lead program is from qualified people who have gone through lending channels. They get pre-qualifications and then they get sent out to agents to go help them find houses. Also has somewhat of a listing component to it as well. I'm going to give you just the very basics on this, right? And so it has multiple lead flows. They are pre-approved and their leads they're ready, they're looking for a home, they're active and ready to go. This cost on that is 50-50. So any lead that you receive is a 50-50 split off that lead. But being part of this program also means that any other business that you close, regardless of lead source, is then an 80-20. Okay, so if you bring your aunt in to buy a house, you're on an 80-20 split on that one. If they send you Joe Smo and he goes and buys a house, you're at a 50-50 split. Okay. If you want more details on that, let me know. I can hook you up with the right people with Randy to talk to and get moving on that. All right, let's talk about scams, guys. These are so much fun. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, I listed a house in South Jordan. I got a text freaking 2 a.m. Is your listing at 123 Main Street still available? Okay, and this is reality. You guys, if you're listing agents, you're going to get these texts all the time. So I got this and I replied, yep, it's available. When do you want to come see it? And this was their reply back. He said, thank you for getting back to me so quickly. My name is Thompson Jason. Perfect. All right. Put your last name first. And my wife is Julia Ann Thompson. Yes, I'd really like to schedule a time to see the property, but for now, I'm out of the States in Norway for work. But my wife is in the States, so we both would love to go through the steps together. So I would love a joint Google Meet call. So tell me if you are free anytime today so that we can schedule the call, and I'll email you the Google Meet invite so that we can communicate better than together. All right. So
You're also texting at 2 o'clock.
So I'm in this stuff all day long, so I was well aware this is a scam ahead of time, but I'm a listing agent, so I played along, right? And I said, hey, let me know if I can go meet her at your home and we can Zoom together there. And I'll get it all set up with my own link, right? So I offered to go to her house, set up a Zoom call, meet her in person, and have him on Zoom with us with a link that I sent, right? And he said, no, just send me your email address. I will email our invite, then you join us. And I said, kind of a lie, I don't use Meet. I use everything, but I said, I don't use Meet, so I can set up a Zoom call. I do them all the time with my out-of-state clients. Guess how many texts after this I got? 0. Why? What did he want? He can get that anywhere. My email address is everywhere. Yeah, he wants to send me a link that says this is a Google Meet link and it's going to look all official and it's going to look like something that I should click on, right? When you get that link and it looks all official and you click on it, it will put a Trojan on your computer. You will then be accessible for all of your documents to be stolen, all of your information, okay? They can get into your email address from there, start spoofing your email, anything else that's connected to that. So be very weary of other people sending you links. These Zoom links or Google Meet links are extremely popular right now. It's kind of the new fad that they're going through. But if you remember 5 or 6 months back, it was that you would just randomly get an email that says, here's an offer on your property. Click this DocuSign link to review. It wasn't a DocuSign link. It was, again, a phishing link, right? And so be very wary. If you're not expecting something from someone and they're sending you a link, make sure that you vet that link very heavily, okay?
Is that also for Apple computers also? Because I know it's for sure
Yeah.
on Windows.
Yes.
So even if they can make an Apple do that.
Yes, they can get into a Mac the same way. Mac has the same kind of vulnerabilities. Aram?
I've got a text that said, hey, is this property available? Like, no, there's a link.
Yep.
Yeah, let's click on those.
So no, don't click on those either.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not
Whoever
me.
just said that
This
online.
is Ellen. Ellen, hey, is there any type of protection we can install to our computers, kind of like the Norton antivirus or something like that, that would detect scams like this, or not really?
No, there's no, well, it's kind of like sexual protection. There's no 100%, right? So no matter what you do, you are still vulnerable. There's really no way to stop any of this, other than just avoiding it. So your real only defense on this is make sure that you 100% know exactly what you're clicking on. Now, there are ways around it. If you want to get really technical, you could build a sandbox that you're opening these links in that's totally sandboxed off from the rest of your computer. That's technical stuff that you guys don't need to know. What you really need to know is just avoid these kind of links, okay? They're super dangerous. Kathy?
Is that still available? Because the MLS shows if it's still available. It says
Yeah, I get agents who ask me if it's still available. I don't. Yeah. Somebody online has something? Yeah.
I had this happen this morning. I didn't click on it, but just so you know, I got a lead and he's like, yeah, me and my wife are interested. Send us a link. I sent him a link and then he said, oh no, I'll send you a link. And yeah, I had the exact thing this morning from a paid lead.
Yeah, nope. In fact, 2 days later, Dawn texted me and said, hey, I just had an agent who said that their husband is out of town in Norway and wanted to see a house. Do you know anything about this? I'm like, yeah, I just barely got a text 2 days ago about somebody who was in Norway, right? This stuff just goes through the agent ranks. So you'll get it. It'll come. All right. Next fun scam watch is deep fakes and voice cloning. This is very real. They can take your images and make videos of you with your voice saying whatever they want. And so be very wary of this. There was a Hong Kong executive that wired $25 million and lost this because of this, right? Now, if you're talking earnest money or down payments or whatever wiring into title, having Wade call on a Zoom call and it looks legit and Wade saying, hey, look, wiring instructions just changed. That's a real thing, right? Your clients need to be aware. Beth, have you ever seen wiring instructions change? Vicky? No? It just doesn't happen, right? Number one, so your client should always know it's not ever going to happen. But number two, you should tell them, if for some crazy reason the world is exploding and these need to change, I will come to you in person and tell you this is what's happening, right? Because it's very real that they could lose their earnest money, they can lose their whole down payment, they can lose their ability to actually buy a house just through these crazy scams, okay?
Are they gonna update the wire fraud thing that we have our clients signing?
That says what?
Saying like different things like this, or is this already on it?
No, the wire fraud is just basically a general, be extremely careful when wiring money to make sure you're doing it to the right place. It is a verbal thing that you talk about, yes.
Even, they said, they'll send you an email or something, and
Mhm.
someone actually said in a meeting, they're like, no, they will just change, it will look like your email, but they'll take out one letter.
Yep.
So, cause I was like, oh, then I'm like, no, like, it'll look like it comes through me, so just be very aware, like, I will make sure.
We
Yeah.
don't email wiring instructions, we only send them secure. I call you, we cannot email. We get in a lot of trouble.
All right, next one, land scams are back and huge.
Yeah.
Again, this is another resurgent of them. FBI says that over 500% spike in the last 5 years of the number of land scams. This is when you get somebody calls you and says, hey, I've got some vacant land out in the middle of nowhere that I want to sell for half the price because I've got to hurry and get some cash. Can you get this listed for me? Right? And they don't own the property. They just want to get it listed. What they'll usually do is they'll use a mobile notary, or they'll try to use a mobile notary. They'll use everything under the sun to get around verifying themselves. They can verify now on Zoom or other places because they can easily overlay an image and make it look like the person who's on the driver's license or whatever. So just be aware that that can happen. Title's your friend on these. They will help you 100% of the time figure out if this is legit or not. So just do your homework, right? One of the easiest ways to do your homework is this. Pull up the tax data on it, on that piece of property, and it will have the property address, right? That's where the actual land is, the property address. And then that mailing address is usually where they live, right? That's why it's getting mailed there. And so worst case, drive to their house and knock on their door and say, hey, did you call me and want to list your land? Right? And they'll usually say no.
Frank, that was doing something really terrible without knowing to the signals. But so there's this big thing called land wholesaling. So basically they target landowners and lock them in at a really, really low price, and then they go try to sell the contract, right? But what he was doing is he was approaching agents to list it on MLS without being the owner. And he said, she's like, oh, that's fine. So I have a couple listings with that. Okay, if you're not the owner, you're not supposed to, you can get in big trouble. And those agents didn't know, didn't verify, I guess, who the owner was. And so I was like, just consult, just call and cancel. Don't ever do that again. You can get in trouble, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big thing, and it's very enticing, right? Especially if you don't have any deals going or whatever, and somebody's approaching you and saying, hey, will you do this? I'm going to give you a huge commission for it. It's pretty enticing, and you may want to do it. Just make sure you're verifying, right? And if you need help doing so, Title, Beth or Jessica or Vicky are fantastic at that. Or just call me and I'll help you through it. Okay.
Beth, is there anything we can suggest to a seller who owns land, especially if it's not necessarily local? I mean, maybe it's 4 counties away, and they just own a parcel of land that they're not paying a whole lot of attention to. Is there anything a seller can do to make sure that,
so depending on the county,
getting sold out type of thing?
Yeah, depending on the county, and I don't know, maybe you guys can verify. There are a number of counties now that have a title lock, basically, where anything that happens on title, you get notified about what's happening with it. But if it's in, I don't know, wherever, right? Kanab County.
Your doctor, attorney. That's the only ones I know of recently that they'll lock.
Okay. But they'll still do notifications, right? Okay. Yeah, so unless you're in the hierarchy of the government.
Right. And one of the safest things you can do is put land into a trust. That way you're not tipping off scammers that it is just a vacant lot.
There you go. Good tip. All right, last, and this one is a crazy one that has started to come up. There is this thing going around where people are saying that the US Treasury has a program where you can go get a loan for any amount of money, as many millions of dollars as you want from the US Treasury directly that doesn't have to be repaid. Okay. And it's due to some crazy loophole with the way that the Treasury was set up when we went from the gold standard to where we are now. And so they will come and tell you that they're part of a sovereign nation, that they have these funds that they can buy. They want to go buy a $4 million property. And it just, guys, it just gets crazy. Like I've had 2 or 3 agents kind of get into this. And so I've gone all the way through what this is. Just be aware that because there is no such thing as this Treasury program. So when they tell you that, just run away, walk away, like get away from it. It's not going to work. But make sure you're verifying that your buyer actually has real funds and not this program. As part of this also, so that you know if you get into this, these sovereign nation people, they are now starting to actively go and try to take possession of HUD homes because HUD homes are owned by the government, right? And so they believe as a foreign nation that they can go in basically and take possession of these homes, and they'll go and try and put themselves on title. They'll try and take over the property and they'll put themselves on title if they can, right? Yeah, they're very, very much on the fringe, right? They do become very aggressive. So just be aware that if you're in this, they're going to push you extremely hard. They may even get to the point of threatening. And so if you get in this, don't hesitate to call me. Like, get me involved early in this. Like, I'm not here to shame you or tell you you shouldn't have been doing that or anything else. Just here to help, right? So make sure that if you need the help, you reach out soon. We want to make sure that you're as protected as possible, not only financially, but physically as well. All right, FinCen goes into effect on March 1st. And so this is for cash transactions for the most part. This is about residential properties, so anything 1 to 4 units, 1 to 4 families. They're cash, so cash meaning cash, hard money loans or seller financed. And the buyer has to be a trust or an entity of some kind, LLC, C Corp, S Corp, those kind of things. In these circumstances, title is required to collect a whole bunch of additional information that they have to report. Now, we haven't held a class on this here because in reality, we're kind of detached from this. Our job is to make sure that we communicate early and often, right? And so what we want to do is make sure that we tell our clients, hey, this is going to happen. If you're buying in a trust and you're buying with cash, you're going to have to give all this information and title is going to be reaching out, right? And so let them know that. Let the other side know that this is what's going to happen so that the seller's aware they're also going to have to give some information, and make sure that title is aware. Obviously, once you send the contract over, they should be aware, but it's always good to communicate early with them. If you don't do this and title can't collect information, or your client is obstinate about it and won't give the information, it will delay or completely cancel the transaction because they can't close without this information. They have to have it in order to do it. And be aware, the Rep C says, the bottom, that the client has delivered to each other or to the escrow closing office all documents required by the Rep C, all documents required by the lender, all documents required by the title insurance company, and all documents required by the escrow office.
So you guys know, if you're coming out of a 1031 and it is an LLC, you are exempt. So if it's cash, you're paying for a property. It's in a 1031 that's coming out, you are exempt.
Okay.
I'm so impressed that I understand what you just said. Because I was kind of a little bit woo-woo with Jeff, but yeah.
Okay, all you need to know is if your client's doing a cash transaction, hard money, cash, seller finance, something like that, title's going to have to get some extra information. Other than that, it doesn't really affect our jobs, other than that we really need to help them do their jobs. Okay, that's the short of it for Kathy. Home and garden show coming up, guys. This is a great opportunity for you to reach out to your clients, give them something free. You can pick up as you go out. If you want to stop down to UCAR, they've got stacks and stacks of tickets. You can get as many as you want to hand out, mail out, do whatever you want. Those do not have your picture on them. If you want one like this that has your picture and a QR code that you can email out, send an email to kendall@uvexpo.com with your photo and contact information. They'll make one up really quick, send it over to you. You can email that out to all of your clients. Give them, a gift of, hey, would love to have you go to the home and garden show. If for some reason you're also inclined to go sit at the UCAR booth for the home show, they have 2-hour time slots that you can sign up and go to the home show and sit there and talk to people who come through. I did that once. It was terrible. Client appreciation pool parties for this year, 2026, are July 14th and August 3rd. As of right now, we have a number of agents who are signing up already. If you want a slot, let us know. If we get more agents, then we can fit in those 2 dates. We'll get another day. This is usually around $200 or less per agent. Super easy way to get your clients to come out. We have pizza for them. We have prize drawings. They get to go swim for free. It's honestly, my clients love this one. Every year I get families that bring whole neighborhoods of people with them. And so it's a fantastic way to reach out and talk to not only your clients, but to get leads from other people. If you're a new agent, this is really awesome, because when you only got 5 clients that come and there's like a whole pool full of people, they think all of those people are you, right? They think you're the most amazing agent ever because you've got a whole pool full of people. So this is a really great one. We usually have between 5 and 8 agents per day. So we've got room for about 16 agents on those 2 dates. But if we need more, we will get another day, but need to know soon. So if you want to do that, just let Maya know.
It's the date. We do the July 14th.
Yep. Or if you want to do them both, we've had people do them both. And so you can pay to be on both of them. What we do is however many agents are there, we divvy up all the costs between 5 agents, right? So it's not like we're taking a cut. We just take all the costs and split it up. So you can do either date or one of the 2, whatever you want to do. Let Maya know if you're interested, and look for emails on this as well. All right, a few things and then I'll get you out of here. These are back to basic things. Guys, all I'm going to say on this is just do your jobs, right? Get your documents uploaded. You're required to. All right, Kathy, get your documents uploaded. You're required to have them uploaded, right? The state says that you have to have them to the brokerage. The brokerage says you have to have them to us within 48 hours. I cannot tell you the number of times that I'm getting this day before or day of or day after or 5 days after. I get somebody who uploads all of their documents and says, here they are. Why haven't I been paid yet? Right? Just upload your stuff. Okay. Leave it at that. Some MLS rules for you to remind you of, and these are because these are violations that we've had in the Orem office within the last 2 months. All properties must be listed on the MLS within 5 business days of signing the ERS. If you don't do that, it's a $250 fine, or within 24 hours after public marketing. And that's a $500 fine if you public market and then you don't put it on the MLS within 24 hours. Okay. And if you're not going to do that, you can do an exemption. If you don't know how to do an exemption, talk to me. I'll help you get through it. Yep.
On like a day, I think it was. And my side guy said, oh, I can prepare up like Friday. So he dropped off installed post with the sign on Friday. And on Monday, I got a fine from the MLS because like some agent drove by on Friday, saw this sign and reported me for not seeing it on MLS.
That was me.
Yeah.
I reported you.
Anyways, they ended up waiving that because it's like my only first offense in I don't know how many years. But they're like, okay, yeah, if you can do it again, like you have to make it act or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
They consider the actual post and sign to be marketing.
It is. Yep. Any public marketing. So a sign, a flyer, an email, a phone call that goes blasts out, social media, like any kind of public marketing, you have 24 hours from that time to have it on the MLS, or there's a $500 fine. Okay. Number two, you must use the MLS exemption form if the property is not listed, like we talked about. You cannot use photos or listing descriptions from previous listings without written permission. Guys, this one is a massive fine, like $1,000 to $5,000 for using someone else's photos or their listing description. Just get your own photos taken, and please don't go use iPhone pictures. Just hire a $250 photographer to take good pictures for you, but use your own stuff.
Jeff, I have one that I'm under contract for, and I asked the agent if we could use pictures just for when we do advertise to rent it. And he said yes, but I need that in writing.
Yes, you do need written
where's that
permission.
written? Where's that?
An email is great,
Okay.
right? Or if you want to create a contract or have ChatGPT send a contract.
Okay.
If he says you have permission to use these, that's great.
I'll just make sure before we do it that I have.
Yep. Data entered must be as accurate as possible. So don't just guess on square footage or number of bedrooms or acreage or that kind of stuff. If you're wrong, it is a $20 per day fine for inaccurate information being posted on the MLS. And status changes have to be made within 3 business days, except for solds, which are 5 business days. And if you don't change the status within 3 business days, it's $20 a day. Okay, so keep those in mind. Professionalism. So here's some recent complaints that we've had from clients of our brokerage, Orem. Okay. The ERS or the BBA not explained at all or well to the client. Okay. I've had a phone call on each of these. Complaints about the quality of photos and or marketing. You guys are getting paid a ton of money to do this job. Like, do a professional job, guys. Communication from agent non-existent or limited. So when you guys don't communicate either with the listing agent, buyer agent, title, the client, I had a client, like a seller, call me and say, hey, I've been trying to get a hold of my agent for the last 3 weeks and can't get a hold of him at all. Like, that's just not okay, guys. Like, you need to be communicating, right? Lock boxes or signs not removed from the property. Had somebody call me and had a lockbox that had been sitting on their front door for 3.5 months. Take them off, guys. House left dirty, trash, and personal property. I know we don't have full control over this, but try and make sure that your clients understand that it's to be left broom clean. I know that varies for everybody, but no trash, no personal property. Make sure that they clean their listings out. Okay. And then a few things that I see too often from you guys as agents that just doesn't speak of professionalism. And that's not reading your emails, specifically from me, from admin, from Fathom Realty, from the division, from UAR. I can't tell you how many times that I get a phone call. I was just talking to Bill before this meeting. The number of times I do this kind of a meeting or I send out an email about a subject, and the day after, or 2 days after, I get a phone call from an agent who says, hey, tell me how to do XYZ. Like, look, I just spent an hour training that exact subject, right? So read your stuff, guys. Be up to date. District director, that's me, also called a branch broker in Utah. Yeah. Calling for answers that are up there. So something that I just talked about. Violation of division marketing rules. We're seeing this more and more. Make sure that your logos are conspicuous and easily identifiable and on everything you do that could be considered advertising. The division will come after you. Very lax on NAR rules, UAR rules. Starting to see agents get lax on getting their showing agreements signed before showing properties. A lot of people that are modifying their buyer broker agreements. Look, I've caught agents that have had buyer broker agreements signed at 2%. They go out and they find out that the builder is offering 3.5%. They'll conveniently lose, delete, erase, whatever, this other already signed buyer broker agreement and sign a new one at the higher amount so they can get more commission. It's just, guys, it's not allowed in Utah. I know that it's allowed in other states, but Utah has specifically stated that once your BBA is signed, you're not allowed to modify up. Okay.
If we get them to sign a limited showing agreement, do we then end up creating two transactions in IntelliAgent? Because I've noticed that there's a section for showing agreements, I thought. And then if you do get the BBA signed, well, you can't put it into that section because it was a different, I can't remember what it said, but I was like, oh.
So the transaction that you're talking about in IntelliAgent says showing only. And what that is I'm going to go show you houses and you're going to pay me $100 to show me houses.
BBA.
So we're talking,
We do two separate, it'll be an IntelliAgent twice.
if you're doing this, if you're getting paid to go show houses, so then no, right? If you're getting paid to go show houses, then you have to create a showing transaction. If you're just doing a showing agreement to go show houses, just put that in a normal buyer transaction with no address whatsoever. Then once you sign a BBA or you get an address to assign to it, you can add that to that file. Does that make sense? Just one. Unless you're getting paid per door or for the amount of time or whatever you decide to do on that. Okay.
So do agents actually just, they do that? They get paid to go show houses?
None that I know of, but it's allowed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that was.
Now that was going to be a whole thing back when the settlement came through, that was going to be the new way and everybody would get paid to go show. It's crazy. Anyhow. And last but not least at all, guys, take time. Like slow your process down. Review your contracts. Make sure you're doing things right. Make sure you're checking the boxes. Make sure you're checking the right box. Right? Possession. Possession is the one everybody misses because the checkbox for upon recording is clear back on the end on its own, hanging out over there in no man's land. And so everybody checks the hours before, right? But it's one of those things where, it's one of those things where agents just, they need to hurry and write an offer. They need to hurry and get the contracts over to the client. They need to do whatever so quickly. They're not paying attention to what they're doing. So really slow down, guys. Make sure your process is good. Make sure you're being professional. Make sure you're getting it done. To go slow?
Checkbox, because like I've done really well to know about it. And then one time when I was with you, I didn't know about it. Like I missed it. You know, but I was just like, wow, like you think we're gonna be legit.
So there's a new Rep C coming this year. I don't know, but there's a new Rep C coming with a myriad of changes. So we'll probably have lots of training on it. But just be aware that it is coming and hopefully that one thing that you need changed is changed.
And as I had done it myself, and then you were talking to me, and then you said, now make sure you look, it's probably on the, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I could.
That's because I can't tell you how many people missed that box. Amazing. All right, just a few things, and these will be quick. Remember, guys, that in section 2.2 of the listing agreement, this is for an unrepresented buyer. This isn't added to. I see this 100 times a day where agents are doing section 2.2. They're doing 2.1, which is your seller listing fee, 2.5 or 3%. Then they're getting 3% for an unrepresented. And so instead of putting 3%, they're putting 6 or 5, whatever it is added together. It's separate, right? So this is only the amount that you're getting paid for an unrepresented buyer. Okay. Section 2.3. This is because, and I get asked this question all the time. Hey, my seller signed right here that they are offering 2%, but we just agreed to 3% in the Rep C. Do I need to go back and modify my ERS? No, you don't need to go back and modify it. This is, look, you're authorized to advertise this amount. This is not binding. The seller doesn't have to pay this. It's whatever's in the rep C. Okay, so you don't have to modify back. And then again, this is the BBA, which we talked about. It cannot be modified up. It just can't. We can't do it. We have talked to UAR legal dozens of times about this in so many different ways, trying to get them to understand how and why and all this. And legal just continues to tell us it cannot be modified up per the settlement agreement. Okay, so just be aware, please don't do it. All right, lastly, back up your data. And so a lot of people are asking about, look, when I get done with the transaction, how do I get all of those documents easily from IntelliAgent out into a file that I can then back up? And this is the way you do it. In IntelliAgent, you go up to the top by where your submit button is. You should know where that is because that's how you get paid. Click the export button. Okay, the export button will take you to this next page. And on the next page, you'll click export transaction. And that's all you do. Next, you'll get an email from IntelliAgent with a zip file at the bottom. It will have all of those documents in it. Okay, you can download it, throw it on your cloud drive, throw it on your hard drive, throw it on your backup drive, whatever it is. Makes it super easy for you to maintain records. How long do you have to maintain those records? 3, 5, 7.
It's three, but I panicked. I think I thought
3 calendar.
3 full calendar years. So if I have a file that closes this year right now in February, this year doesn't count, right? It's the next year, 3 full years, 3 entire full years.
Still saved on IntelliAgent. Well, it's still on there.
Have you ever used IntelliAgent? My trust of IntelliAgent keeping that is very low. So yeah, we are required as a brokerage to keep that. Don't count on us because it doesn't say either your brokerage or you has to keep that record. The division says you as an agent have to keep that.
With all the documents to your client, so you'd have it in an email as well.
If you do that, and if you still have access to your email account that has been hacked and now shut down.
So would you print those also off for your client? Is that what you do?
I do, but everybody does it a little bit different. Okay. All right, lastly, check your mail. If you don't know where that is, that's the black filing cabinet over here in the corner. We always get lots of mail for you. We love to get your gift cards, so please take those. And other than that, go get some more French toast, and thanks for being here.